What up guys, welcome to another episode of J-Rod's Garage. Last episode we featured my 96 Dodge Stealth 1 in 57. Got a lot of comments, got a lot of traction on that video, so I wanted to make another video. I'm not sure a lot of the guys and gals watching that video realize that I do have the Mitsubishi. I wasn't talking about that Stealth being rare as a car as a whole, as a Stealth. I was talking about it being rare as a 96 RT Turbo, being only 1 in 57 and the little subtleties that they had changed. So I thought, man, I've got all these VR4s and Stealths laying around. Why don't I show the population, show the world what the difference is between the cars? And we both happen to have both bone stock except for the wheels on the Stealth. This is a 95 VR4, that's a 96 RT Turbo. So if you want to follow me, I'll walk you through the differences. First thing that catches my eye when you're walking up on them is the VR4. The VR4 has an active aero spoiler that was equipped factory from 91 to 1996. After 96, from 97 to 98, they went to the hoop spoiler, and then in 99, the final year, they did the combat spoiler. So at speed, at 47 miles an hour, this will actually adjust, as will a front air dam, and I'll show you that. You can manually activate it, but it is, if you put it to auto, it is an automatic thing. So if you watch the rear spoiler, it will come up as so, and you can control it as so. And if you look in the front, you'll see the lower valance when I hit the button as well. So obviously the Stealth never came with active aerodynamics. They had the banana, and then in the 96 they had what they called the super banana, which was a two-piece a little bit taller. The rear quarter panels pretty much unchanged. This section of the car is different. On the 91 to 96 3000 GT and the VR4, they have this little fake plastic window here and a much smaller quarter window. Here in a moment I'll show you the difference on the Stealth. The doors are different as well, as is the lower I don't know what you call that piece, side skirt or whatever you want to call it is different. I don't think the actual door is so much different if you look, but I know the lower piece and the plastic is. But as far as the aluminum, it appears to be the same. This is another cool fact about these cars. Not only does the Stealth and 3000 GT share the same side mirror, but it's also the same side mirror as the 92 to 2002 Dodge Viper. So the Vipers share these exact same mirrors, much like the Lamborghini Diablo and the 300ZX share the same headlights. Like I said, this car is all original and unmolested. I'll kind of show you a few differences under the hood, as well as the front bumper and headlight area. So if you're looking at both these cars to the untrained eye, you're going to look at them and you're going to go, these are identical. And they are. The difference is on the Mitsubishi, it says Mitsubishi on the valve cover, and it says the V6 dual head cam 24 valve on the bottom. Well, on the Stealth, they moved the dual head cam to the top and did not brand the valve cover as a Dodge or a Mitsubishi for whatever reason. Intake manifolds are the same. If you notice on this one being a 96, it actually has a map sensor built into the intake manifold here that the 95 does not. It has a blank for it. The reason being is in 96 is the first year of OBD2 electronics. So that was another couple of the little things. This is the only Stealth ever made with OBD2, because everything prior, 91 to 95, obviously was either OBD1 or then a 94 and 95 was kind of a hybrid year. You could kind of, I'm not going to get into that, but that's the kind of goofiness. But if you look, other than that, they're identical, same turbo, same motor, same transmission. You know, these both came with a 6-speed transmission. Mitsubishi started putting the 6-speed Getrag in these in 94, 91 to 93 had a 5-speed, and somewhere in the middle of 93 you kind of got a unicorn transmission. You got a 5-speed with the 25 spline output shaft for the transfer case. That was one of the big upgrades in these cars going in 94s. Not only do you get an extra gear, but you got a stronger, more robust transfer case, because the 91 to 93 cars had the 18 spline. And as another thing, if you look here, black headlights, color match headlights. You know, in the Stealth, they had the black lens. They also had a different corner marker here. As you notice, the corner marker on the 3000 GTs on the side, the Stealth, it is integrated into the side molding, much like the 99 3000 GT. So what a lot of guys will do is they'll pull these amber or corner lights, and they'll put the 99 VR4 or 3000 GT base or SL corner lights here. It just kind of gives it an updated identity almost. The cool thing is, and I have one I'll show you here in a minute, but the 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 cars all had Lexan headlights. The 94 was the only year ever offered. They actually had a true glass headlight. And I'll show you that in a moment, because I actually have a 94 here on property. But if you stand back and you look at both these cars from the glance, if you don't know anything about these cars, you can look at them and see they're pretty similar, but they're still so different when it comes to the exterior. The aesthetics on them If you start looking here, they have the little differences here, like the Chrysler logo built in here. Obviously the Mitsubishi does not have that. It does say twin turbo on the door and the lower door. This is plastic, once again aluminum. They put that cap on it. And then the rear window, like I was talking about, the Stealth has a much larger rear glass here, and then a functional arrow that goes through here that actually speed tested to go out over the spoiler. The 96 cars, they had the more aggressive spoiler. It is a two-piece with the third brake light in here. The 91 to 95 cars did not have this more aggressive spoiler. And then when you look at the rear of the car, it is much different. The whole rear of the car is different. It has different tail lights, different center light, different rear bumper. They both have the same exhaust, both quad tip, but in this car, it has a diffuser built into the bottom that was only built on the Dodge Stealth. This car here, being a Dodge Stealth, this was also an option in the VR4, but it has a glass removable roof, as some people call it, a glass targa, whatever you want to call it. This will actually crank and it'll actually remove and come out, and you put it in the back. This car, being the VR4, has a power color match sunroof. That was an option, and they also made them in a hard top, and then they made about 1,000 of these in a VR4 Spider, which I also have one of those here that I'll show you as well. So that's kind of the rundowns on the outside aesthetics being the difference, the little different subtleties in the motor. Next, I'll show you the differences in the interior. As you open the door and you look at it from a glance, these cars, they're identical. This car's obviously got charcoal, the Stealth has tan, but 100% identical until you sit down in the car. Once you sit down in the car, you take a look and you notice, the first thing you notice is the airbag. On the Mitsubishi, it says SRS and has the Mitsubishi logo. On the Dodge Stealth, it has the old 90s Ram on it. Other than that, besides on the VR4 model, it has the active aero control right here where an ashtray would go, as is the cruise control. This one has the digital climate control, which came in the SL models and the VR4 models of the 3000 GTs. For whatever reason on that Dodge Stealth, I don't know why that car didn't come with it, but it has a manual climate control. If you look at the gauge clusters, they're all identical. Boost, oil pressure, coolant, speedometer, fuel, tachometer, and obviously warning lights. Glove compartment, identical. Shift locations identical. Ashtray, power lumbar, cigarette. Everything else is 100% identical to these cars. Once again, if you're looking from the side, outside looking in, you're looking at it. Obviously this car's got tan. And the only logo, or the only change, is the logo in the airbag. As you see, it does say SRS airbag, but has the 90s Dodge Ram. Same configuration for boost, oil, and coolant, as is mile per hour, fuel, and tachometer. But as you can see, it does have the manual AC climate control, has the same radio, same display. But as you see here, there's now an ashtray or maybe a coin change, as well as the cruise control, because this car does not have active aero. They are both obviously all-wheel drive, 320 horsepower from the factory, as is twin turbo. Another kind of rarity is obviously a lot of people know that all these cars came all-wheel steering. That's actually not true. On the 96s, if you want to look down here, you can look. They do not have a rear rack and pinion, whereas the VR4 has a rear rack for all-wheel steering. So this car, over, once again, 47 miles an hour, will activate a few degrees of rear steer in the rear axle as you are cornering at speed. We're going to take this car out for a drive. We're going to put a GoPro on the side of it and see if we can capture that rear axle actually turning, to show you guys how much it actually turns. So obviously, anytime I get a chance to drive one of these cars that is 100% unmolested, as this car is, it just brings me back to 20 years ago, man. I bought this car, if you guys follow my channel, this was the one we had bought that had been abandoned for about 10 years. It is now, I guess 2 days from now, it's headed to its new owner in Florida. I sold the car. Guy's getting an amazing car. He's an enthusiast. He had one a long time ago. He wanted a nice, clean, unmolested, unchopped up, modified one. He picked a great car. So I'm really excited for him to get that car. He's actually flying into Oklahoma City on Friday, and he is going to take a 2-day trip all the way to South Florida. He lives a little bit north of Miami, so it's going to be cool to see this car going to someone that's going to appreciate it and not tear it up. But it's just, man, I'm in love with this car. Like, everything works. Everything on this car works. It sounds good. It's quiet. You forget after you've driven 100 modified versions of these how quiet the stock ones are. Like, I'll get on it and you just listen. It's not even loud. So quiet. And it's so smooth. The gearbox is great. Clutch feels good. I just put tires on this car. Active suspension, active aero works, fog lights, headlights. Like, there's nothing on this car that doesn't work. The only thing that doesn't work, well, I should say probably does, but I don't have the code for the radio. Back in the 90s, you know, they used to put a code for theft prevention. Don't really know what that did, but I don't have the code for this, or let me rephrase it, I probably do in the stacks and mounds of paperwork the gentleman gave me with the car, but I haven't found it yet. So if I remember right, you go in here when it says code and you hit these buttons here and you can change the code, and once you get the code right, whatever that code may be, you hit that button and it should turn on. But obviously this one is I don't know the code, and it's a 4-digit code. So anyway, we're gonna go up here. We're gonna see if we can't capture the all-wheel steering in action. There's a big long bender up here by my house. It's real smooth. So and obviously I was talking about the differences really inlay with the 99. This is my 99 3000 GT VR4 behind us. As you notice, it has an all black headlight that is Lexan, and it has the bubble effect. It's got the much larger front opening and the corner markers that are much similar to the 94 to 96 Dodge Stealth, but are actually graphite in color with a bubble. They're not flush and amber. The 99 VR4 also features a solid rear cell panel here instead of the little cutout like in the 91 to 96 car, and the 99 VR4 features true black interior and black dash, not charcoal like the earlier years, as the all aluminum combat spoiler. These cars are only 282, I believe, were built in the United States. They're a pretty unicorn of a vehicle. It's arguably the most desirable 3000 GT made. It obviously has the biggest value as far as these cars. And if you want to follow me, I'll show you the 94 car as the 97, 98 VR4. So this car behind me is actually a 97 VR4. It's a good friend of mine's car we're doing some work on. As you notice, it is the same rear as the white 95, but it does feature the hoop spoiler. This started in 97 and 98. Only cars had this option. They actually offered this in the SL and the VR4, so you couldn't actually tell which was an SL or a VR4 in these years due to the rear. Obviously in the earlier years, you could tell it was a VR4 due to active aerodynamics. We also have another 97 VR4 in here that we're working on. As you can see, same deal, but I wanted to show you the differences in the front bumper. The front bumper changed in the 97, 98 car. Once again, only on this car. It features a little bit larger opening with a center brace here, and was only a thing on the 97, 98 cars. There's not very many 97, 98 3000 GTs out there, so in my opinion, this is probably the rarest bumper, even more so than the 99. You just don't see a lot of them. You see a lot of cars with 99 front bumper swaps because it is a very popular deal, because it is arguably the most sought after. And then I'll show you the 94, which we happen to have in Sorrento Red Pearl. It's a car that I bought about a year ago. We're fixing to get to working on it. Ended up burning up a piston, but as you can see, for one, it's got glass headlights. As you can tell, no yellowing, no Lexan, because they are glass and they are color matched just like the other VR4s. Identical under the hood. Obviously this one's been modified a little bit, but other than that, 100% the same under the hood as the 91 to 95 car or 96 car. And this one actually is a VR4 that features the glass removable roof. They don't make very many hard tops. I do have a hard top, but it is in there on the lift. It is my 95 Martini Pearl Yellow 3000 GT. It is actually a slick top, hard top. They're a little bit lighter. If you want to race, you want to go fast, that's the car to have. So hopefully you guys have kind of picked up on some of the little subtle differences in these cars. Drop some comments in below. Give me your critiques. I'm sure I didn't get 100% of everything right. I have been working on these cars and owning these cars since 2002, since I was in high school. I've got a long history with these cars, and I'm real passionate about them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the 3000 GT Stealth content, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.